And now the Hansons and Hiatus podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It is episode 87 of the Hansons on Hiatus podcast. I am your host, Nate. This is my wife, Alexis.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And don't forget to support the podcast. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy us some virtual beers.
Ooh.
And we will drink them in real life.
Yes.
Yeah. And also, HansonsOnHiatus.com. You can check out the merch shop where Alexis has put up some awesome designs. And we got some holiday ones. Festive ones up there recently, from Day of the Dead to Halloween, whatever. I know the holidays have passed, but if you want to get on it for next year,
Yes.
go ahead.
Do it now.
Yeah. And also you can find all of our links to the podcast, Spotify, YouTube, different channels and everything. So if you want to share those with any of your friends, we greatly appreciate it. And if you'd like to support the podcast on a monthly basis and you want to become what we like to call a fucky,
Yes.
you can be a little fucky and be a monthly supporter for 99 cents a month. You can be a medium fucky for $4.99, or you can be a big old fucky for $9.99.
Yes. We love our fuckies.
Yes. And, yeah. So if you are liking what we're doing here, if you like the stories or the information or whatever, and just want to support us, we greatly appreciate anything, any kind of help you want to be.
We appreciate your support, fuckies.
Yeah. And like, follow, share, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, YouTube Music, at Hansons on Hiatus. Woo.
You'll find us there.
You sure will. So we're, if you caught the last episode, we kind of talked about the first half of our trip to the States.
Yep.
So we're going to go ahead and finish up what the rest of our great North American trip.
Yes. Wrap it up.
Yeah. And then we'll talk a little bit about some of the stuff we did for Day of the Dead, for Halloween, what we got coming up this weekend. But where we left off last time is we had gone up to Iowa for the Iowa State UCF game.
Mm-hmm.
We'd flown into Chicago, and we stayed in Iowa for a couple days. We went and saw my grandmother.
Yep.
And while we were planning this trip, you know, your Yaya, your Greek grandmother,
Yes.
is getting a little older, and she's in what's the difference between nursing home and assisted living facility? Is it the same thing? Is it like stewardess and flight attendant? Or
Maybe.
it's just a different way to say it.
I mean, one is where they're still kind of living on their own,
Mhm.
but they have assistance when needed. And then the other one is more like,
A hospital.
yeah,
Basically.
like they're pretty much under surveillance all day,
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. Is
Yep.
it? Well, we'll get into that a little bit later. But so we decided. We looked around at flights when we were planning this trip, and it was a little pricey to fly from Des Moines to Pittsburgh.
Right.
And also, there was 0 direct flights
Yeah.
as
Which is
far
so
as
weird.
we could tell, unless maybe there was one on Southwest or something. But it was like, I don't know what anybody likes about Southwest. I get that you get the 2 free bags.
Yeah.
I've never found a cheap flight. It's
No.
always $200-$300
Not
each way.
anymore. They used to be the most
Yeah.
affordable one, like $100 maybe $200. Now they're like up 300, upwards of $300.
Yeah, each way.
Yeah.
So
'cause
it's
they
like,
know they're giving you the free bags.
yeah, it's
so
built in. Yeah, nothing's free. It's all built in.
Yeah.
But they're not like the discount kind of middle. They used to be a little bit above Spirit and Frontier, but
Yeah.
below the American, United, Delta situation. So they're kind of middle of the road. At least what I've found. I guess maybe it depends on where you're flying. Not anymore.
Yeah.
It is not cheap.
Nope.
But anyway, so we couldn't really find a good flight. So we booked a rental car. It was like $100, and we were planning on picking it up in Des Moines and dropping it off in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And
People always think we're crazy, but we don't mind road trips. We used to do it with the dogs, and it's just a nice way to take your time to get somewhere. You can make some stops along the way.
And we can get there in one day, which it almost took the same amount of time to fly. With you factor in being there 2 hours ahead of time, and the
Right.
travel and getting out and everything. So,
Yeah.
It was about the same. But so we were telling my parents, yeah, this is what we're doing or whatever. And a few days after we had booked this trip, they came to us and said, well, we could drive. And, you wouldn't have to pay for the rental car. They wanted to go see my grandfather's town that he grew up in eastern Pennsylvania.
Right.
And then it was my mom's dad. And so she wanted to kind of see where he came from, like his roots,
Yeah.
And then my cousin and his wife live in State College. Is that
Yeah,
the city?
I think
Where
so.
Penn State is?
Yep.
They live there. They're getting their master's degrees. So they're like, oh, we'd love to go stop and see my nephew and my grandfather, or her father's hometown,
Yeah.
basically. So we were a little on the fence about it. And we went back and forth quite a few times because
We did.
I love my parents, but they are in their 70s. Well, my dad's in his 70s. My mom's almost there.
Yeah.
And I just felt a little uncomfortable about not driving there because obviously we'd be with them. We'd be driving most of the way.
Of course.
But them driving back by themselves.
Yeah.
You know, I just worry about my dad getting tired and, you know, I mean, anything can happen on the road. You can fall asleep or, you know, whatever, or, you know, it's just sometimes it's hard for people when they get up there to, you know, drive for extended periods of time.
Yeah, especially if you don't do it a lot. They're fine driving around their hometown
Right.
and, you know, a lot of like your grandmother lives like an hour from them. They're used to a little bit longer distances, but not 12 hours, you know, through different states. They don't do that a
Right.
lot. So that was our concern. You're going to drive back 12 hours. You know, you got to make some stops. And at first they seemed like, no, we're just going to drive it on back, you know, straight through. We're like, no.
Yeah. So we went back and forth, and then we kind of came to an agreement on, well, we had made some rules. We said, one, we have to listen to podcasts or music.
Yes.
For some reason, my parents don't like to listen to music in the car.
Not all the time.
Yeah. It's like, what's that movie with Kevin Bacon? Flashdance?
Oh. Is
that the one where they don't allow dancing in the town?
Oh, you're thinking of like, not Flashdance, but Nobody Puts Baby in the Corner.
Footloose.
Yeah, Footloose.
Yeah. But Baby in the Corner is not that movie, I don't think.
Okay.
That's
Wrong list.
Dirty. Is that Dirty Dancing?
Oh, Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, Jesus, we're all over the
Oh, man.
place.
But I think they tell you to not dance in that one, too. They're like, nobody's dancing.
no
you
dance
know.
in the corner.
Yeah.
No, Jennifer Grey is not supposed to be like hanging out with the help of the fucking
bad boys.
Yeah, the clubhouse or whatever the fuck it is. Anyway, yeah, but it's like Footloose in this car. Like you get no dancing, no music, dead silence. We're just gonna stare at the road. So I said, no, we got to listen to music. Another one is we drive most of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to stop at a weed dispensary because Pennsylvania. I just found out Pennsylvania is actually medical.
Yeah,
they do have a medical system there, but obviously we don't know anyone there with a card or anything. So in Iowa is not legal either.
Nope.
They don't even have medical as far as I know.
No.
So Illinois is a fully legal rec state,
mm-hmm.
and then Indiana is nothing.
Yeah,
they got
of course.
nothing. And then Ohio is newly,
yeah,
within the last few years, a legal rec state as well.
I feel bad because I had no idea. My brothers didn't mention anything to me. Not that I guess they would, but I didn't even know. Didn't even hear that. So go Ohio. Good job.
Yeah, that's right. So, and it's just so dumb at this point.
It is.
Like, just make it legal everywhere.
You can go from one state, but not to the other. Like, just, you know.
Truth be full disclosure, we recorded this before the election. Actually, the election is today. So we don't really know who's going to win yet. But whoever wins, please just make it federally legal. Like, let's get it done with.
Get it done. It's we're about to be
nobody fucking
2025.
cares.
Come on.
Yeah.
Some people care.
I mean,
but
the majority of people don't. And it makes a lot of money for the states.
Yeah.
Iowa, Indiana, you're missing out on a bunch of fucking tax money. We're all driving to the next state over and paying tax money there and then coming back with the stuff.
Wouldn't you rather your citizens be happy and calm and not in pain and just chilling? Otherwise, they're all drunk driving everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Like, let's just have some stoners on the couch.
Yeah. So that was one of our other rules for driving. And what I was thinking on the way back is, okay, this is the way we can kind of stop or kind of come to an agreement. On the way back, they can drive themselves, but they can't do it all in one day. No. They have to make a couple stops that's mainly my concern was the fatigue and driving 12, 14 hours, whatever. Yeah. So you drive 4 or 5 hours, a day or whatever, take a couple days back, take your time, do some sightseeing.
Yeah,
totally fine.
They're both retired. Do your thing.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we decided. So we jumped in the car and I said, we got to leave at 6 a.m. because I planned out where we were going south of Chicago, so we weren't going to hit that traffic. Mm-hmm. We were going through Indianapolis, and then we were then last minute decided to make a pit stop and stay the night in Columbus because we were going to get there in the evening either way. But one of your brothers lives in Columbus.
Yeah, my brother Alex lives there still, so we get to see him, and then saw one of my best friends from high school also, my friend Lindsay.
So we took off at 6 a.m. We weren't too late. About
We
10.
left by 6:10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Which
was
is pretty
good.
good for my
That
fan.
was good.
Yeah. So my dad wanted to drive a little bit, and
Yeah.
he said he'd feel more comfortable driving first because he kind of knows the Iowa roads better, obviously.
Exactly.
So he drove the first 3 hours, and I drove the other 12 or 11 or whatever it was. So yeah, so we get on the road, make great time. We get there. What did we get there about? Oh, that was one thing I didn't plan for, though, is the time change. Totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting there like a little before 5, which was good. The traffic in Columbus wasn't too bad. We missed the traffic in Indianapolis, and we go to Columbus. And when we were trying to figure out where to stay,
Mhm.
I was like, oh, okay, guys, I got a proposition. Alexis and I stayed there for 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like 2017, 2018.
2018, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the Beer Hotel, the Brewdog Doghouse Beer Hotel
Yes.
in Columbus, Ohio.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is. And if you've been following us for a while or following me for the radio days, that is was it the first weekend I think that it was open, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we stayed there the first weekend it was open. And if you haven't seen this or follow any of our stories or anything, basically it is the brewery, and this brewery is from Scotland.
Yes.
And they have like locations all over Europe. They started to build a couple in the US,
Mhm.
and they had this idea to make the brewery also a hotel.
Yes.
So-
Genius.
Yeah, so smart. So they built on the side of it, and it like all the rooms either face outside.
Mhm.
And the brewery's awesome. It's right next to what is that? There's like a bike trail or something. I can't remember what the trail is called.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very, nature. It's
Mhm.
like on this huge acreage of land, and they have ponds and puppy parks and all sorts of
Yeah.
stuff.
So if you're
around
not staying there, you can, ride bikes down
Yeah.
and go and have a beer or whatever. But the hotel is really cool because all the rooms are beer themed. The whole brewery is awesome as well. There's like a brew restaurant there, really good
there.
food.
Really good food.
They have an arcade. They have a beer museum that you
Yeah.
can rent out. They have a store. They have when you check in, like in the kind of the lobby
Mhm.
area, there's a bar there as well that like is open after hours, and
Mhm.
you eat breakfast there. There's a breakfast buffet,
Complimentary.
complimentary, and they do milk and cookies at like 8 p.m. But instead of milk, they do stouts.
Yeah.
So it's like stout and cookies.
So cute.
Super cool. But in-
Their customer service and just the little things that they do, just the little details, is what makes it perfect.
Oh yeah, totally. So in the room, so when we first stayed there, so this is the setup of the room. They're all really cool, really well decorated. They have a record player in there, a guitar. They
Yeah.
have like beer books, and obviously the famous beer shower. So there's a little like mini fridge in the wall next to the shower,
Mhm.
and it has all their beers in it. All their shampoos are made out of their beer.
Oh yeah, their lotions and shampoo smelled so good.
Yeah. And then they have another mini fridge in the room,
Mhm.
but this isn't just their beers. It's like specifically picked beers from other breweries that they
Yes.
really like.
Yeah.
And then so when we first stayed, there's a tap system.
Mhm.
So like there's this thing that like it's this machine that sits on your kind of countertop or whatever,
Yeah.
and you can just pour draft beer in your fucking hotel room.
Yeah.
It's
You don't even
fantastic.
have to leave.
No. So when we first stayed there, they didn't have all their shit together because they had just opened.
Yeah. It was a little unorganized, but we're easygoing.
Yeah.
We're like, sure, totally understand.
They didn't charge us for anything.
No.
And
Wish we would have drank more.
yeah, right. And then so this time when we booked the room, we find out there's all these add-on packages.
Which makes sense.
Right. So for the shower beers, $60.
Yeah.
For the tap system,
Mhm.
$60.
Right.
For the other mini fridge, $60.
Yeah.
So we're like, Jesus, that really adds up. And the rooms aren't too bad. It was like $150 a night for a king bed room.
Yeah, and they're nice. They're big, spacious. Like the beds were so comfortable, and their
comfortable.
pillows. Oh, I wanted to steal one.
Dog friendly.
Yeah.
They have like leashes and bowls and
Oh, yeah.
handkerchiefs and
If you
shit.
bring a dog there, they're going all out for your pup.
Yeah. And there's a little dog park outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really cool. So this time we see all these add-ons, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't want to spend,
Yeah.
another $180. So I email them and I ask them, like, what is anything included if I
Yeah.
don't buy these beer packages? And then they respond and say, oh yeah, like the shower fridge and the mini fridge are basically just a la carte. Yeah. So you pay per beer, and it's like $4 a beer or something. So I was like, okay, let's do that. We're getting there around 5 o'clock. We're leaving the next morning. We're not going to drink 12 or 24 beers or whatever in the room.
Right.
So we did so we did opt for the tap system though, because that poured about 11, 12 beers and then on draft. So you and I and my parents were able to split it all from one of the rooms. We put it in their room.
I really didn't think we were going to drink all of it. I should have known better.
Oh,
we killed it.
Crushed it.
Like right before bed, gone.
Well, my dad and I were running back up to the room and filling up our beers when we were hanging out at the bar, because it's like, why are we buying another beer when we have beer we already paid for?
Exactly.
Yeah, so just a really cool experience. If you ever if you're a big beer fan, you're looking for something fun to do for a birthday or whatever, highly recommend it.
I would say I wish we got married there. I wish that was an option the year before when we got married, because there was another wedding. I think there was a wedding party staying there. I don't know if they had the wedding actually on site, but that would be an amazing venue for a wedding, especially like springtime. The area is just gorgeous.
It is, and it was on site, and it's in where they have the beer museum. They have like an event hall back there too. Oh, and they also have like a beer school, and kind of like a tasting thing where they tell you about the beer and how to, which ones to pair it with.
Very cool.
And then they I don't know if I mentioned, but they have an arcade also.
Yeah,
so that's super fun.
I will say too, customer service, the nicest people everywhere, from our server at dinner to the front desk person to the breakfast person the next morning. Everyone was so nice. It wasn't like, oh, you felt uncomfortable. They were like, what do you want? What do you need? Let me help you. They're just wonderful.
Yeah, totally. And they got fire pits outside.
Oh, yeah.
And it's cool because like when the brewery closes, we can still drink at the front desk and then, take our beers outside, but everybody else is gone. So there was only a couple of us out there.
It kind of felt a little weird, like a adult slumber party, and all the other adults, the parents, left because it was just a bunch of adults kind of wandering around with beers.
And there wasn't a lot. And there wasn't a lot of staff either.
No, they're just like, good night, good luck, guys.
It's like, we own this place. I am the captain now.
Yeah, we're like, is anybody in charge of us right now?
Right. But it was cool. I got to meet your friend Lindsay.
Yeah.
That you've been friends with since high school, and you haven't seen in how long?
Probably like 10 years.
Wow.
She lives in Ohio still, has a family now, husband and 2 kids. And I moved from Ohio a long time ago, and I used to go back up and visit because my parents live there, but now they don't anymore. So there's not too much reason to go up there anymore.
Yeah.
But it was great. We've been best friends probably since 8th grade, and it was really nice to see her. We, didn't even skip a beat.
Yeah, just like you pick back up, right? Yeah, that's how a lot of my friends are from my hometown too. Like my really good ones, even if we don't talk very often, it's like nothing's changed.
Oh yeah.
And she brought us some really good Belgian beers for our wedding anniversary, since she wasn't she wasn't able to make it to the wedding. Correct. But it was kind of for our anniversary, I think, right? Or is it a wedding gift?
It was kind of a wedding
like
gift,
a belated
anniversary. But yeah, she is the reason, even before you, that I started becoming interested and liking craft beer, IPAs, any of that. She is my person for that. And then you became my person. But also travel too. She's very travel friendly, loves traveling, and she's been, kind of all over the world already. And that was I think another reason. So when you came along, I was like, I do like beer. I do like to travel. Let's go.
That's so funny. But yeah, so and all, like you said, your brother was there as well.
Yeah.
One of your twin brothers, Alex.
Yes.
And we were eating dinner at the restaurant, and when we get to the end of the meal, I don't know if did the waitress suggest this about the dessert?
I guess so. Well, she asked us, does anybody have any room for dessert? And we're all like, I don't know. And she's like, so if you do want one, you could get one for free. And of course, my brother's like, how do we get one for free?
Yeah.
And then she explained, you got to play rock, paper, scissors with me to win. And we're like, what's the catch? That's it. That's all we have to do. So Alex was all over it and won.
Yeah.
Won the free dessert. He killed it.
Yeah. So he did win. So we got a free dessert. That was nice.
I would have been too nervous.
So really great experience there. And we got up the next morning and drove to Pittsburgh. Was it like 3 hours from there, right?
Yeah. Yep. Not too early.
Yeah. And we get in town and we go to, first we went to a brewery, like the Church, was it Church Brew Works? We've been there before, And if you're ever in Pittsburgh, this is a great brewery to go to. They have a lot of more traditional beers, more like Belgians and Pilsners and things like that. But it's in an old Catholic church, and it's just massive. It's just huge. So big.
It's really pretty. All the like renovations they've done, but it's still, the pews are still there. The brewery like tanks are up by the front, like the altar and everything. It's really unique.
Yeah,
really fun.
and then we were in this area. We're looking for Permane Brothers, the sandwich shop. If you have ever been to Pittsburgh or heard about it, they just have these massive sandwiches, and all these different types of meats, and they put French fries on it, and
coleslaw. Everything's on it, because the steel workers back in the day, when they would be on the job site, you didn't have time or room to have all these different little sides, so you just had your sandwich with all your stuff on it and just eat it that way.
Yeah, and we didn't realize the one that we stopped at was like the OG.
Yeah,
like the original Permane Brothers.
Exactly, like downtown in the Strip District. So
and you could tell the difference too, because the last time we went there, we went to the one with your family, and it was just like going to an Applebee's or whatever.
Yeah,
it was just like very standard. This one was like tucked away, and then we get this guy that's coming out. Hey, what do you want?
Yeah, he was spicy.
Yeah. All right, you done? Okay, come on, let's go.
You don't know what you want? I'll be back.
All right, hurry up.
Yeah.
And then when he brings out the food, it doesn't come out on plates. He just literally has the sandwiches wrapped in 2 pieces of butcher paper.
He didn't even have a server tray.
Yeah, he was just like, he had them like folded up like a taco, and he just like sets them down on the table.
Your parents were like,
hello,
can I get some napkins?
Yeah. And then my dad didn't finish his sandwich.
Yep.
And he's like, I need to get a to-go box.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, Mark, they don't even have plates. You think they have a to-go box or silver? Like, nobody had silverware or anything, like nothing. So they just gave us some more paper, and we just wrapped up the sandwiches.
I know. Before he asked, we're looking around. We're like, don't ask. I don't think they even have silverware here. Just don't ask.
Yeah. But after, like, we stayed with your Aunt Chrissy and Uncle Jim, and then my parents stayed in a hotel like really close nearby before they took off and went over to the State College, I guess. And this was actually over Halloween, and it's really cute because your cousin's son. So is that your nephew? No, it's your second cousin. Right?
Yeah, he'd be my.
Or is it your first cousin once removed?
Cousin?
We're not getting into
cousin.
this. Yeah.
I just say cousin.
It's your cousin's kid. And,
yeah.
And how old is Maddox? He's like...
He just turned 6, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So this was, Halloween Eve. Oh, no, actually it wasn't even Halloween Eve. This was a few days before, because Halloween was like during the week. So they did the trick-or-treating on Saturday.
Saturday was the party, yeah.
And they have a pretty decent-sized neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. Big neighborhood.
And
lots of hills and different, neighborhoods going back into each other. One of those old kind of hilly Pittsburgh neighborhoods.
And they're so your aunt is planning like kind of a trick-or-treating party. Like the adults sit in the garage in the driveway. We hand out candy. Yeah. They got like apple cider and Fireball, and we got food and pizzas and chicken fingers that we ate for 4 years.
Yeah. She got so much food. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But we were asking about the candy and like how many kids are coming around, and they're like, oh, probably like 350, 400. And we're like candy or children?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, kids. They're like, we usually get 300 to 400 kids that come to our house. I'm like, what?
We're like, that's ridiculous. That's like a full-time job for the day. Are you kidding me?
And so we decided we were going to walk around with your cousin's kid. I don't know. I want to call him your nephew. I don't know. Maddox.
Just say Maddox.
Yeah. And so we walked around and went trick-or-treating with them.
Yeah.
And it was very like nostalgic. Like it was just, it reminded me I know I didn't grow up in Pittsburgh, but it's similar people to the Midwest. And it was just, everybody was out at the end of their driveway. The adults had like drinks and snacks for the adults.
Yeah.
They were giving out candy. Little kids just running around. It was like nobody was worried about anybody getting abducted or anything like that. It just was like Americana to like the core of like, this is how it's supposed to be.
I really missed it. We dressed up in our not Halloween outfits, but Halloween festive stuff, and followed my cousin Trav and LaSalle around with their kids, and it was just so fun. I loved it. It was a little chilly out too, so it got cold that night, and I just remember as a kid walking up and down hills. Every neighborhood we lived in had tons of hills, and you're just booking it up and down all day. But to the kids, they have, unlimited energy. They're just running up and down. We're like, woo, by the third turn, like, how many hills are there? it was a lot.
Yeah. But one of the things that I really enjoyed was, obviously Pennsylvania is a battleground state.
Mm-hmm.
So Trump and Harris signs all over the place.
All over the place.
Everywhere.
I think every yard had a sign.
Yeah. But one of the great things about like their neighborhood was it was every other yard.
Mm-hmm.
Trump, Harris, Trump, Harris, back and forth.
Yep.
And nothing was like any different. Like nobody was talking politics or arguing about it. Everybody just came together and just had fucking trick or treat night.
It was great.
It was nice.
I miss that. I miss those, like you're saying, the Americana nostalgia kind of thing. I miss being able to do that. That is one thing in Mexico, even though we did have some trick-or-treaters here, but it's not the same. Back home, it's chilly and all that stuff you grew up with, the trees and the leaves and all the colors. I miss the seasons for sure.
definitely. So we had a great trip back to Pittsburgh. We went and saw your Yaya a number of times.
Yes.
Saw some of your other aunts and uncles, and it was a good family trip. We saw your family and my family.
Yeah, it was great, and I'm glad that your family got to spend some more time with my family, because my aunt and uncle and cousins, they've only met each other at the wedding,
right?
7 years ago. So that was really nice for them to spend some time together. We watched some football, ate a bunch of food.
Yeah, we saw the Steelers game that you didn't let me go to.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, but we won.
Yeah, we did win. Yeah, it was the Monday night. The Monday night football game against the Giants. Yeah, and it was a great game. And
it was a good game.
You might not live this down for a while. I'm just kidding.
We wouldn't. We would have been just.
We would have been just fine because we watched the whole game anyway, and we were staying up after it. But we had to leave early the next day. Our flight was at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
And that night, my parents actually, when they got back from Eastern Pennsylvania, they didn't stay the night over there. A hotel. They stayed at your aunt and uncle's place also.
Yeah, of course. My other cousin was staying there because she was flying out, so it was nice. She left, so they got to move in.
Yeah. But the funny thing is our flight was at 6 a.m., so we had to leave what was it? So we had to be there at 4, so we left at 3:45.
Yeah.
And my parents stayed your uncle gave us a ride to the airport because it was 10 minutes away.
Oh, yeah.
And then my parents stayed there till 10 a.m. and had breakfast with them and were talking and stuff. So they're and they're both of the couples are retired.
Yep.
So
perfect.
So they found some new travel buddies in the future or something.
They did. They had some fun.
I bet they could all come down here sometime, those two.
Oh,
two
for
couples.
Sure. They're due to come down.
Yeah. So flight back, we get there super early. We're standing in line, and there's all these ladies that are are they Amish or Mennonites or something?
I don't know. They're from Harrisburg, probably.
Yeah, they have
Pennsylvania Dutch.
They look like Little House on the Prairie crossed with Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
How can they fly? I thought they weren't allowed to use technology. Is it as long as they're not flying the plane themselves, it doesn't matter?
So. They seem to have little stipulations here and there, no technology, but I have a phone or this or that. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen they have machines or it's something that's manual, some kind of gears and everything that they've made, and then they use it to dial the phone, and then they're technically we're not using the technology because we're not touching it.
Okay,
okay, come on.
Just get on in here. Yeah. Get on into 2024.
And then we get on the plane, and it reeks like weed.
It really did.
I don't know.
We were we don't have anything on us. We haven't been smoking,
Wait, actually, we had a layover in Fort Lauderdale. I think that was the flight from Fort Lauderdale to Mexico.
Maybe.
Yes.
No, I thought it was
because
Pennsylvania.
it was the Fort Lauderdale. No, it wasn't at 4 a.m. or whatever. But what happened on the first flight when we were getting off, some kid maybe 2 rows up from us on the right side, he was getting his bag out of the overhead compartment, and another bag fell out, and it was just one of those bags, like a to-go food bag kind of thing.
Yeah, like a brown bag.
And I guess he knock it out of the top.
Well, it was up there. It was a big brown bag, and when he pulled his bag out, it must have got stuck on it, made the other bag fly out and just fell. And there's wrapped, I don't know if it's permanis or what, but it was big sandwiches that are wrapped in paper. And we were all oh no, somebody's food. Yeah. And the guy looked so embarrassed, threw some stuff back in the bag and just didn't even put it back up. put it on the seat. And then this other guy behind him goes, hey, are you going to pick up the rest of the shit? Like, what are you doing? There's still a sandwich on the ground and receipts. And then he's like, oh, it's not my food. And then you hear a guy in the back go, that's my food. And he quickly picked it all up and like got the
the kid was like, geez, like relax or whatever. But the guy was like, that's somebody's food. You don't just leave it there.
Yeah.
And then it was funny. The kid, scurried off the plane.
Skedaddled.
And when we were getting off and the guy that was in front of us that kind of yelled at this kid, when we were going by the flight attendant was like, thanks for saying something or something like that.
Yeah.
Didn't he say something? Or no, he goes, well said.
Well said.
Which I'm kind of on the fence about because yes, he should have fucking picked up somebody else's stuff that you knocked over.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, that the overhead compartment is not for your fucking food bag.
True.
Like, so we're not even allowed to put our backpacks up there sometimes. It's typically only for those carry-on suitcases.
True. Well, he had a backpack, so he was in the wrong also.
Totally agree. I think they're both in the wrong, or they're both in the wrong. They shouldn't have put their food up there, but he also should have been more careful.
Yeah, he's like, there's just a sandwich laying on the ground. Like, I didn't see that. I saw the guys when I was waiting for you in the restroom. I saw the guys walk by with their big bag of food. You didn't want to mess with them. They were big dudes.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Big guys.
But that's why I think the second plane, I think it was the second plane that smelled like weed.
True.
Because the clientele that was coming from Fort Lauderdale going to Mexico, they were probably more worried about bringing weed to Mexico rather than bringing weed from Pennsylvania to Florida.
True. That makes sense. But I would tell them to not do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do either of those things, but
I wouldn't even smell like weed when you're coming to Mexico.
But
no, thanks.
I'm sure it was somebody that had like a medical card in Florida and was like, I don't know if I can get my shit in Mexico, so I'm gonna bring it with. I'm like, bro, bad idea.
You're already busted.
Yeah, done.
The dogs will smell you as soon as you get off the plane.
Yeah. So that was basically our trip.
Yeah.
Like a week and a half.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. It was good to see our family.
Covered some good ground, 4 states, and made it home.
Yeah. But this past weekend, oh man, this is that season I was talking about.
Yeah.
It's Halloween, Day of the Dead, multiple days, and then we have Thanksgiving, and then we have some other Mexican holidays coming up. Semana Santa, we have New Year's, we have what's the King's Day.
Yeah.
Just like there's just tons of holidays coming up. But this weekend was real rough because Halloween was on the 31st, the 31st Thursday. And then we did Dia de Muertos on Friday at Xcaret because we had tickets to that. Mm-hmm. And then Saturday we had Dia de Muertos downtown Playa del Carmen.
Yes.
So 3 days of going out. Yeah, I'm a little exhausted.
I am too.
Yeah. But
Sunday I said, leave me alone.
Yeah. But Halloween was really fun. Actually, it's so funny because people will ask, what do we do for Halloween here? And half the people are like, this is Mexico. We don't celebrate Halloween. Yeah. Better watch my video because thousands and thousands of people were down Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many people out there. All the little Mexican kids are out there, trick-or-treating they just go to the restaurants and, different hotels and stuff to trick-or-treat.
Oh, yeah.
They love it, and they have great costumes.
Great costumes. So creative for kids' costumes.
It was interesting to see people from other countries because it's not just people from the United States. There's people from Canada and South America and Europe and all over, and they all did costumes too. But it's interesting to see what they do for like either last minute costumes or one of those topical costumes that are maybe a 15 minutes of fame kind of thing.
Yeah,
so it was just kind of interesting seeing what other countries or what people from other countries think is relevant or whatever. By the way, what is going on with Mario and Luigi this year? I mean, when we were at
is there like a movie or something?
When we were at the trick-or-treating in Pennsylvania, like every other kid was fucking Mario or Princess Peach or Luigi.
I think I counted like 30 Princess Peaches from adults to like at one point there were little girls. There was like 6 of them. They all were Princess Peach just surrounding us. Like, what are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know they're kind of timeless at this point because there's so many video games and movies and shows and everything like that. But it just... I'm just shocked that a kid in today in 2024 wants to be Mario.
That's fine with me. Were you ever Mario or Luigi growing up?
No.
Yeah, I never was either. Even though loved Mario, loved the video games, loved Princess Peach, but That was
Yeah.
never one of my top choices.
Yeah, people were. I mean, people did dress it when we were kids.
For sure.
When, Nintendo and Super Nintendo and 64 came out and everything. And then the movie with John Leguizamo.
Oh, yeah.
And some other people in that. I can't think who else. But, yeah, it was just, it's crazy how many fucking Marios are out there.
Yeah, there was a lot this year.
But the same thing on Fifth Street in Playa del Carmen. Lots of Mario and Luigi. Then we went to a karaoke bar, which was weird to go to a karaoke bar for Halloween, but it was a lot of fun.
Every year or every holiday that there's, events going on, there's always like one place that everybody's like, I'm going there. And this was the place this year for some reason. They're like, meet at the karaoke bar at the end of the night. I'm like, I don't really like to do karaoke, but we'll all be drunk by then. So why not? Let's go, sing in some groups.
Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty fun. And then when we were walking back home down Fifth Avenue, like the power went out.
Yeah.
And this is like
right.
the street, it looks like Mardi Gras. Like it's like just shoulder to shoulder all the way down the street. It's craziness.
It was. But I swear when we first moved here, over 3 years ago now, Halloween wasn't that big because we dressed up. And I remember taking Tiger out, and it wasn't, there were still people out trick-or-treating a little bit to the different shops and whatever, but it has grown. In 3 years, they got the word out, and all the kids are dressing up now and trick-or-treating.
Well, I also think that was part of the pandemic because nothing really was going on in 2020. We moved here, 2021.
Yeah. That's true.
And it just, every celebration we've seen has gradually ramped up from, Dia de Muertos to, Independence Day to, whatever. They all have gotten a lot bigger as long as we've been here.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? A lot of dog costumes.
Lots of dog costumes, and those are cheap.
Yeah, I saw one dog was Rocky. He had like the little like boxer shorts on, and he had like the fake arms with little boxing gloves.
The pug.
Yeah, the
he
pug.
Was so cute.
There was like a bulldog that was Chucky.
Yeah, he was scary. Had a little knife, like running around.
I saw some like Chihuahuas that were pumpkins, and
I saw a pinata
dog.
puppy.
Yeah, it was a Frenchie.
We did see one like Ariel, and then the Chihuahua was Sebastian, the crab.
Did you?
Saw a couple of those.
That's funny. I'm trying to think what my favorite costume were. Well, the ones that stuck out in my head were the kid from Up.
Yes. Oh, so cute.
And he had like the little balloon on his backpack.
He just looked like the what is it? The Boy Scouts. He has the Boy Scout thing on with the badges and his little balloon and hat. I saw him from the back and knew it was him. I was like,
And then this one girl went as El Pastor.
Yes.
Like she was like one of those little spit things that have like all the meat, and she had a pineapple on her head, and then the rest of her was like meat going down in a.
Everybody's looking like tornado.
Yeah.
Oh, El Pastor spit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, and I went as Twister.
You did
board game,
a different style of Twister.
Yeah, it was like if you didn't see my pictures online, I just went and got a white shirt. So we did all this like basically the day of.
Yeah.
I just got to Walmart, got a plain white shirt, got some construction paper, cut out holes, and like glued them onto my shirt so I looked like a Twister board.
Yep.
And then I went and I got a little kind of a kid's clock, like a spinny clock thing I made out of cardboard, and then I put the Twister colors on there. Obviously I had one red dot on my crotch, and then on my Twister board I made it like most of it red, and then there was just like little slivers of the other one, so it was like haha, touching my crotch.
What a Halloween costume to wear when you're married.
Yeah, well, I was with you.
You were, so I kept going oop.
Shoot. And then you you did like your makeup, like kind of like spider makeup, right?
I was a witch. I found a cute little witch hat. I've never been a witch either. Every year I'm trying to be something a little different than I haven't done in the past, so I was like, witch will be easy. Got the tiny little witch hat and saw, all the different makeup tutorials online, did like a little spider thing. Didn't really love it, but it was okay.
Yeah.
It was great.
No, it looked great.
Nice.
Your makeup looked really great. But I just thought it was funny that a lot of the parents like go all out for their kids now, making their costumes.
Yeah.
And
I mean, wouldn't we if we had a kid? We'd go all out for Tiger.
But I just think it's funny that the people our age are doing that for their kids now. but we're still going to Walmart the day of, crafting some shit up and making it work at the last second. We're like, throw it together. We got it.
I know, because we don't want to spend the money.
No,
just make it cheap.
Let's see, what else do we do? So that was Halloween. Then the next day, Dia de Muertos at Xcaret Park. So this is an eco park in just south of Playa del Carmen. We have season passes there, but one day, big fans. But one day, the Dia de Muertos celebration goes on for 3 days, and we get one of them for free. Like, so we get tickets for one of the 3 days for free.
Yeah, we get like a reserved spot.
Yeah, so so we go in there, and we went early because we wanted to take advantage of the park. So we went swimming and snorkeling and sat by the water and just kind of enjoyed the day before the festivities started at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
4 p.m.
It was a really nice day.
Yeah. But when we went in there, we're going through, it's in the jungle. So you're walking through the paths, and there's this woman laying on her back.
Yeah.
And like crying and stuff. And I still don't know what really happened to her. The paramedics had came and they were like helping her. So I don't know if she like fainted and hit her head or what.
I don't know. She fell and she was freaking out. We're just walking along and all these people start running past us. So we're like, uh-oh. I will say I appreciate that they are so quick and responsive to something like that. So that's, in case we fall one day there.
Yeah.
I hope she's okay.
Yeah. But you and I are hanging out at this. They have all these like little lagoon pools that you can go swimming in. So you and I are hanging out there, and they have like a staircase with a handrail to go in. So we decide to go down there and go in, and there's this woman, and she's sitting on the ledge with her legs hanging over the ledge onto the staircase.
Yeah.
And so we have to like squeeze by her.
Yeah, it's not a big staircase. It's like one person up, one person's going either way at one time.
Yeah. And so we have to like squeeze by her, and you and I get into the water, and I'm kind of saying like under my breath, like, thanks for moving for us, or thanks for being in the way.
Yeah.
And then you look over and you go, I think that's her wheelchair.
Yeah.
So,
it was parked on the corner there. Yeah. So, I don't know. I didn't know if it was hers. I was just saying it could be hers.
It was hers. So I felt pretty bad about that. And I was like, oh, shit. I mean, I didn't say it to her. I was just saying it to you.
Yeah.
But then she gets up and walks out and then gets in her wheelchair. I was like, okay, so you can kind of walk. Yeah. And even if you were in the wheelchair, couldn't they have just scooted you down, not over the stairs?
Scoot your butt over a little bit.
Yeah, so...
she got up fine. It seemed like she just had surgery or something.
Oh,
she was
true.
a little hobbly. So.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, maybe like ACL or something like that.
Something. But she didn't have any bandages or anything on, so I don't know.
True. I don't know.
Fake.
But yeah, they just... the Dia de Muertos celebration, they just do it good at this park.
Yeah,
they have all these like shows, these cultural events, the food. They bring in people from all over the country, really.
Yeah.
And they make food from their certain states, and they had like the guys doing cochinita pibil, where they take the meat and they wrap it in banana leaves and then they bury it, and then they have like coals and stuff over it, and it cooks underground.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we watched all that like happen right in front of us.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
It was hot. Didn't you say this year was Quintana Roo?
Yeah.
For like our...
Yeah, each year a state kind of is like the focus. Like last year, was it Querétaro?
Maybe.
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, but anyway, this year it was our state. So it was like a lot of, Mayan traditions and dances and stuff. And it was a really good time.
It was good. All the food was great, what we ate, and all the shows were phenomenal. I love it there because it's just an explosion of marigolds everywhere. Cempasúchil on the ceiling, on the floor, and the fountains. Like, you can take pictures with them. There's things made out of them. There's desserts and teas and all sorts of things made with them. It's just everywhere.
Yeah, and this is all in the jungle. And while we're waiting for the main show, you were getting something to drink or going to the bathroom or something. I'm sitting there and I see the trees like shaking above me, and I'm getting hit with these little like kind of seeds from the tree.
Yeah.
I look up, it's fucking 2 monkeys. Yeah. And they're just swinging from tree to tree, and I'm like, what the fuck? Because they used to have like kind of like an area for the monkeys. But I think they escaped and they just live in the park now.
We've always asked, like, can't they just escape from this? It's just a little moat around their kind of monkey
because they weren't in a
pen area.
Yeah, it's not in a cage.
Nope.
They just had some trees and like this kind of moat, and
they're probably so pissed. Like, this whole time we could have just swung over the moat.
Yeah, like what the fuck? But this guy, I was looking it up at the monkeys, and this guy next to me, and he looks at me, and he's like, that is Oliver, like one of the monkeys, and like he's 2 years old, and he's like, I am an observer. He's like, I study them. So he literally follows the monkeys around the park to, like, I don't know if he's just making sure they don't get out,
Yeah.
or if he is just studying them and see what they do and what their habits are or whatever.
When I came out, he was looking up, writing things on his little clipboard. And I'm like, are you noting the trees he's hanging out on? I don't know what he was doing, but he was writing down something.
yeah. So, but yeah, it was a great day. It was really, really good. They do it well. If you're ever in Mexico around that time, highly recommend getting tickets there because it's one of the best cultural events in our state.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you get them early. Get your reservation in early. Because we had a couple of friends that were able to go on different days, and I had a couple of friends that were not able to go. They bought the season pass and then didn't have any room for them. It fills up quick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that was Friday. And then Saturday, we did Dia de Muertos in Playa del Carmen.
Yes.
And basically same area that we were in for Halloween, just going down Fifth Avenue. And there was a parade at 6:30. So we all get set up for the parade. And the last 2 years have been a little lackluster.
Yeah.
It's not if you see the ones in Mexico City or Oaxaca or Merida, it's not the same.
I'm not expecting that or the Macy's Day Parade. I'm just, a little cute parade. So I felt bad because I gather all the friends together. Like, we can't be late for this parade. We have to see it, which was great. We were on time. We got there early, got our seat, like you said. But yeah, I don't think anybody was like super thrilled with it. I loved it.
Yeah, it was. It was good.
Quick.
Yeah, it's just very short and
Very
fast.
short.
But as soon as we saw it and they walked by, boosh, it starts raining.
Rain.
Yeah, and then it stopped and it was fine. So then we went to another bar on our way down because we were going down to the Zocalo, like the town square, where they have all these ofrendas set up of different and I think it's a competition actually. You can win like 20,000 pesos for the winning ofrenda.
I want 20,000
And if you don't know, ofrenda is kind of like an altar for Day of the Dead. You decorate it with marigolds and pictures of lost loved ones and food and drinks and stuff that the person that you're honoring used to enjoy and just
it's like a little happy tribute to them.
Right.
Like, we miss you, we love you, we're drinking in your honor, eating in your honor, celebrating all that.
And so we go to a little bar on the way there because we're getting a drink before we went into the area, and we had our vape pen, our weed pen, and our friend Marlos was like, "Oh, let's go in the bathroom and smoke it." I was like, "Why don't we just go outside and smoke it?" She's like, no. And then asked the guy at the bar, and he's like, "You can smoke it here. It's not a big deal." And then this other guy walks by at the same time, and Marlos hits it, and the guy's like, hey, not in here.
Yeah.
And it was the owner of the bar.
Yeah.
And she had asked the employee, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And he goes, "I didn't even fucking see him there."
You should probably know he's here.
Yeah, right. It's not a big place.
While you guys were doing that, I was outside getting hit by another rainstorm with our other friends.
Yeah, but so we're walking around, and we got separated because you'd ran into some of our friends from Mexico City, and I go and I'm taking pictures of all the ofrendas and everything, and I look up and I hear this crack. And it's lightning, and this wave of rain just starts coming at us, and people are running just like there's a monster after them, and it's just complete fucking chaos. And so I think you're hiding somewhere, right?
I ran. Everybody just ran.
So it's just pouring out. Like nobody saw this storm coming.
No.
And so I'm like, I got to find some like cover to get under. And the only thing was this ofrenda from they had the Dodgers guy, the Mexican guy.
Fernando.
Yeah, it was like Fernando Venezuela or something.
Yeah.
But so I'm like trying to get under the ofrenda, but I don't want to step on it because I don't want to be disrespectful because they have all the offerings and everything. So I'm just half under it. So like half of me is getting soaked and half isn't. And then, it's just pouring. Everybody's running for their lives. And what did you do?
I ran too. I ran under another tent, like a frienda kind of thing, and I was hanging out. So I was just like, I'm going to make a run for the Palacio. I saw a bunch of people under there. So I book it over there, and I actually see one of your buddies from the beer bar.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I hid under there with him.
Yeah. So after this, since I was just halfway under the covering, half of my body's soaked and half isn't.
Yeah.
So it felt like I peed half of my pants. Have you ever peed half of your pants, Alexis? No. It's terrible.
I didn't know that was possible.
But it was like Godzilla was coming and everybody was like, "Run, Gojira!"
It was. Even after, everyone was very scared to come out. Like, are you sure?
Yeah. Oh, shoot. So, but it ended up letting up, and we went to the craft beer bar.
Yep.
And guy kind of offered me a job. He's like looking at partnering with the other craft beer bars in town and doing like a little tour. And he's like, I need somebody to like take, you know, the Americans and the Canadians under their wing as a tour guide. And I was like, I'm your dude.
I've never heard of a more perfect job for somebody.
Yeah, so that could be a possibility here in the future.
That would be great. Neat beer tours.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing I wanted to explain before we get out of here is our mixing board.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if I think we kind of...
We both looked down like, meh.
I was like, is it still going?
Yeah.
So I don't know if we addressed it previously when... Yeah, I think we did. Like when we had to record those 2 episodes with all the audio separate and everything because our mixing board started going out.
Yes.
So we're like, okay, we'll take it to the US. We'll just get a new one, and you know, why leave a broken one here? So we're just going to take it back. We didn't really deal with it at my parents or at your aunt's house or anything like that.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh shit, like we're leaving in a couple days. We better get this figured out. And we're looking oh no, actually we did order one, but it was the wrong one. It didn't have the right connectors. And
guys did get one on Amazon.
Yeah.
Not the right one.
So you and I scramble and we find the exact same board we have for $50 on eBay. So you have it shipped to your aunt's house in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And it was coming from Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, I think it had like 4 or 5 days to get there.
Yeah.
And it should have been there.
We're like, it'll get here.
Yeah.
It'll be
so
fine.
As soon as it gets shipped, it says, oh, it'll be there by 7 p.m. on Tuesday. We were leaving at 6 a.m. on Tuesday.
Yes.
Like, fuck.
That's
so
going to be a problem.
we're trying to figure out what we're going to do, how we're going to, you know, we're like, we can't not have a board for a few months until somebody else comes down from the United States.
Yeah.
And we look in on Monday, it had it had been dropped off at the post office in your aunt's hometown.
That's why it was taking so long. So it went from UPS to like the postal USPS, the postal service. So it was going to be delayed a little bit longer, cheaper shipping service.
Yeah. But we see it's at the post office and we're like,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we can just go pick it up. We don't have to wait till it be delivered tomorrow. So we go there, you go in because you used to work in logistics. So you know all about the shipping stuff.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if they're going to let us. It's usually like in Atlanta. That's my experience lately. But if you go pick something up, they would give you such a hard time. No, we're not, you know, it's too packed, this and that. Always excuses. Come back tomorrow and pick it up. So I'm like, no way they're going to give it to us. Went right up, gave the lady the address. She was like, hold on. Went in the back for literally 5 minutes, maybe less. Came right back. Here you go. Oh my God.
The nicest post office in Imperial, Pennsylvania I've ever dealt with.
Ever.
Super, super awesome.
So nice.
Shoot. But yeah, so that's basically it. That was our trip. That's all right. We got a new board, so I hope it sounds okay, or it sounds better than the last 2 episodes.
I think it does.
Yes, I agree. But this weekend, well, the next 2 weekends, we got some weddings going on.
We got back-to-back weddings.
Yeah. So our friends Tom and Cindy are getting married in Tulum.
Yes, Felicidades.
Yeah,
Tom and Cindy.
Felicidades, amigos.
Yes.
So they are getting married this weekend. So we're going down to Tulum. My cousins from Florida are coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Is anybody else going that we know?
I don't know.
Is Genevieve or anyone going?
I'm not sure. I think some of their mutual friends that we've met before. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. So so we're going there for the wedding. So I'm sure we'll have some great stories and it'll be a lot of fun. We're all staying at a hostel. Like he rented out the whole hostel for the weekend.
Oh yeah. We're staying in a teepee.
Yeah.
We're going to have our own little teepee.
And a teepee with AC though, right?
Yes. Teepee with AC,
good.
of course.
They must plug the holes.
Yes. It's a fancy teepee.
Yeah. But we're really looking forward to that. So I'm sure we'll have some great stories from Tulum for next episode.
Oh, we will.
Yes.
I think it's really funny that these are both 2 couples that we're really good friends with, especially here in Mexico. And they're from 4 different countries. And both of them are having a wedding a weekend apart in Mexico. And it's the whole weekend. So both weddings are like, you're here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, leave on Monday or whatever.
Yeah.
So this will be my first weekend wedding. I don't know what you call it.
Like full, like all weekend.
All weekend.
Yeah.
You're
Well, it's because we
dedicated.
live here. You know, if it was somewhere there, like you. Well, no, I guess if you did travel for a wedding in the U.S., you'd usually stay for a couple days because you don't want to just pop in and out. But if it's a local wedding, you usually don't do the whole weekend. You know?
Yeah, I think like usually it's like the family and things like that you do things with every day. So we're part of the family.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Like Tom is from the U.S., Cindy's from Honduras, Wanda is from Canada, and then Carlos is from Mexico.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're getting Wanda and Carlos are getting married next weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's so fun.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll have a lot of wedding stories. Hopefully we're not too hungover.
How do you feel it? Start hydrating now.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, as usual, if you'd like to support the podcast, buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy some virtual beers there. And also the website, hansonsonhiatus.com. You can go to the merch store where you can get some different shirts and hats and tank tops and sweatshirts and whatever you like.
Pillows, cups,
stickers,
yeah.
Diaphragms. No, we don't have those.
No one says that anywhere.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Can you spare a sponge? No, I confused two lines.
Oh my God. We have everything.
Yeah,
out there. They'll put our logo on anything.
Yeah, and if you'd like to be a fucky, you can subscribe to be a monthly fucky for the podcast at 99 cents a month for be a little fucky, a medium fucky $4.99, and a big old fucky $9.99.
Yes.
Yeah. So as usual, if you like, follow, share, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, YouTube Music. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.